Russia is not ruling out the death penalty for two captured Americans who fought for Ukraine. In an exclusive interview with NBC News, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov says the U.S. military veterans from Alabama who volunteered to fight Russia, well, they're going to be treated as criminals and mercenaries, not as prisoners of war.
Alex Drueke and Andy Wen, where are they? Who is holding them? And what happens next?
Well, so they are they're soldiers of fortune, and they were involved in illegal activities on the territory of Ukraine. They were involved in firing and shelling our military personnel. They were endangering their life. They are not a Ukrainian army. So they are not a subject to Geneva Convention.
Now, it's unclear exactly where those two Americans are right now. Russian state media has aired video of them speaking under duress. The interrogator in the video claims they're in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine, in territory that's currently under the control of pro-Russian rebels. Now, earlier this month, Vladimir Putin's puppet government in eastern Ukraine sentenced two British citizens and a Moroccan to death for fighting alongside the Ukrainians. The Kremlin spokesman told NBC News that he could not guarantee that the captured Americans won't face the same punishment. Let's bring in retired U.S. Army Brigadier General Steven Anderson. General, thanks for being here. Russia now potentially skirting the Geneva Convention with these detained Americans. How should the United States respond to this?
Well, this is not good, obviously. We should respond in a very serious manner, and we continue to utilize our NATO allies to do that, respond accordingly. I mean, these are soldiers. They are prisoners of war, and they should be treated as such. They were military combatants. They were not shameless contractors or mercenaries. But this is not a good situation. I mean, I admire their courage. I admire their commitment and our support to the Ukrainians. But now this capture provides a propaganda victory to the Russians. And the Russians want to paint this as a us versus the world kind of scenario. So capturing American citizens plays into that narrative.
And the battle now seems like it's going to continue to drag on. Russia continues to advance in the eastern part of the country. So what does their success in the Donbass mean for the rest of this war and Ukraine's ability to turn Putin's forces back eventually?
Well, I would not categorize it as a success. I mean, it's an attrition. This is a war of attrition. So buckle up. This is going to be a long fight. I mean, we're now at day 117. We're upon a new Cold War really is upon us. And this is going to take months, perhaps years to play out. There's been a lot of ebb and flow back and forth. I mean, there's been a Russian main effort in Severodonetsk, which has shown some success, but they're simply blasting the smithereens out of everything in front of them. But they have no ability to conduct maneuver warfare. They can't have no air superiority. And I believe that the Ukrainians are eventually going to push them out, but it's going to take years.
One of the pieces of analysis I saw today is that this is becoming more like a World War I style artillery duel where they're just shelling each other from behind trench lines and no side can sort of gain advantage. Is that how you see it also? That's
exactly how I see it. I mean, the Russians are firing up to 60,000 rounds a day. Wow. Now, the Ukrainians are doing everything they can to fight back. They've been able to fight maybe 6,000 or 7,000 rounds, but about 1/10 of what the Russians are shooting. Now, the Americans are providing the M777 howitzers, which have longer artillery range than the Russian artillery. So they slowly but surely, they're going to be able to take advantage of that extra range. But right now, the Russians have a huge amount of artillery they're able to put to the fight, and they're essentially blasting everything that's in their path. And they're taking they're calling an occupying essentially empty towns as a victory. That's not a victory. They're not particularly winning the war, but they are in the middle of a fight of attrition and a Cold War that's going to be with us for quite some time.
Just a little bit of time left here. Let's talk about the diplomatic piece of all this. EU leaders are now set to discuss Ukraine's membership bid for the European Union later this week. What would a potential inclusion there mean for the war in Ukraine, and could it lead to escalation, sort of the opposite of what the EU wants there?
Well, I think it's going to take years for this to develop. The membership of the EU is not something that happens right away. I think the average time is over almost 5 years to join. But if they are to join, I don't think it's going to make it any more serious than it is right now. I mean, the Russians really don't have the capability to conduct the maneuver warfare that it would take to actually take Ukraine. I think that it's a good step for them to join the EU. Everything we can do to keep this coalition strong, to keep the United States and our NATO allies strong, united for Ukraine, is a good thing.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.